30-minute reviews, beware of spoilers, and exploring hyperspace lanes are all available ad-free. But if you want to support the show, you can go to bewareofspoilers.com and click the support button that's available on the Spotify website. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to Exploring Hyperspace Lanes. I am Adam.
And I'm Josie.
And for whatever reason, Josie refuses to tell me what she thought of Barbie, so we can talk about that now.
I'm refusing?
I texted you twice, and neither time you answered.
I have no text messages from you about Barbie.
Hang on. Let's go to the tape.
You can't show me receipts, because that's your side of it.
Did you like Barbie? And then the next thing I texted you about was the Farmer's Almanac telling you you're gonna get fucked up.
Okay, so you did not twice, just the once.
And before that, you said, I'm going to see Barbie, and then I said, did you like it?
Oh, I did like it. It was good.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's like, this is gonna turn into the movie's too woke conversation.
Is it?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
Well,
that's good.
The get woke, go broke crowd has been very quiet this last week since that movie broke $1 billion. They very quickly pivoted from the movie's too woke to, well, the movie's not really woke, it's really pro-man. You see, it's actually a pro-conservative movie, and it's like, that pivot was so quick, you could be in the fucking gymnastics Olympics with that. You're not interested in that, are you?
I thought it was really cute. I think that mothers should bring their daughters, or fathers should bring their daughters. I thought it was cute.
Or Josie should bring someone.
I brought somebody.
There you go. I
was really, really bummed that I couldn't go see it with my mom. So was my mom. My mom was really bummed that she couldn't go see it with me.
What was it? I heard someone describe it as it's Black Panther for white women. Josie,
I don't know.
After 8 years, Josie still has not learned that facial expressions do not translate.
I'm thinking. I'm allowed to think. I don't just blurt the things out. I try not to.
You gotta do. That's what you gotta do.
That's when I say dumb things.
Yeah, and that's I make that work.
That's the content.
You gotta.
You'll just cut in all of the bad. You won't ever cut out any of the bad things.
If it's really bad, I'll cut it out. Like, it's not like anytime you say the N-word, I cut it out. Don't worry. Like, I'm kidding. She doesn't say
that.
So, anyway, so yes, Josie's review of Barbie is good. If you were holding out to wait to see Barbie until she gave her opinion, the answer is good.
It's good.
What was it?
What else am I supposed to say?
I don't know.
What do you think?
I really liked it. I didn't like. I did 20
like it was a
cinematic
magic, like masterpiece. Like it was cute.
I saw it.
Funny jokes. They really grasped the way that girls play with Barbies, or people play with Barbies.
See, that was the thing that I really got. I'm like, they are nailing that aspect of it. Where it's like even the dialogue of the Barbies is like, this is how a little kid talks.
Yeah, it was cute.
Can I spend the night? Why? Because of boyfriend and girlfriend. Like the way he does that all in one monosyllable. It's like, and then it's like, and what are we gonna do? I don't know.
Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah.
And then I love the weird Barbie. Because that's absolutely accurate.
So I take it you had a weird Barbie too?
Yeah. I put rubber bands on her.
Okay.
I remember it. She was the weird one, and I remember my mom had given them to me with some markers, telling me, "Oh, you can make accessories for her out of the rubber bands." So I made a necklace, but it just looked like I was trying to kill her. And then I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do the hair." And then I had markers, so I might as well just draw on her hair and try to change her hair color. That didn't work. So
Josie had a hog-tied Barbie. Like,
Yeah,
no, no,
pretty
no, it's an
much.
outfit.
Pretty much. Yeah. It was kind of cool though, because I had a grandmother who would for Polly Pockets and Barbies, she would crochet outfits for them.
See, that's the one thing about this movie. That's really cute, but like, there's one thing about this movie that I'm not happy about, and it's they're doing a bunch of other toy movies now, and it's like that wasn't the lesson to learn from this movie. It's not people want to see movies about toys. It's
No.
people want to see a movie by a director who has a vision and is going to commit to it and be allowed to do whatever she wants. Because like
Yeah,
Greta Gerwig knocked it out of the park with this movie,
she
and
really did.
somehow I think that the upcoming Polly Pocket movie directed by Lena Dunham will not
Oh
be
no,
as
is that
good.
a thing?
Yeah, allegedly, yeah.
Oh, Polly Pockets aren't as iconic.
Well, it's not just that, but it's like Lena Dunham is a less talented Greta Gerwig, like
Hmm.
by a lot. Um, and it's just like I think that, you know, you don't have to do that. I don't think, and it's gonna
No.
be like when they did the Playmobil movie after the Lego movie took off, where it's like,
See, I would think that it's girls' version of the G.I. Joes. G.I.
no,
Joe
the GI Joe
movies.
movie sucked. Well, what I mean when I say it's the girl, it's the white woman version of Black Panther. It's a cultural event because this is a market that wasn't properly served, and now here's a big budget movie for that market, and now everyone's showing up to see it.
Hmm.
Because that's what Black
I
Panther was. Black Panther did almost $1 billion, and it was a rarity because most of the money was domestic. It did like
hmm.
I think it's like the highest grossing or one of the highest grossing movies domestic of all time. Because it did like 700 million in America alone.
Okay.
And I think that that's kind of what it is with this movie too, where it's like, I mean, look, this movie's doing great internationally, too, but it, I saw a terrible movie this weekend in a theater.
What did you see?
I saw Meg 2, The Trench.
Okay, so before you shit on it, um,
I love this movie.
the expectation is that it is a movie to be shit on, and that's what you love about it, is that you love that you hate it and that you love that it's bad. So I
I disagree.
I enjoy the Meg movie, the first one, because I love that it's ridiculous.
See, here's the thing about this movie, and I'll put this because I like this is gonna be my only thought on the Meg 2. There's a point in the movie where, do you mind if I spoil it for you? Because I feel like this kind of perfectly encapsulates the ridiculousness of this movie. They are
I
trapped
mean,
in this lab underwater at the bottom of this trench that's 25,000 feet below sea level. For those of you who don't know how oceans work, that is 15,000 feet deeper than the actual lowest point in the ocean at 10,000 feet.
that we know of.
Okay, sure, that we know of. Now, that far down, you are looking at about, I did the math, about 570 times the gravity of you just standing here because of the pressure from the water. Jason
Mhm.
Statham swims without a suit
We're not
because he
talking of, we're not we can't rip it to shreds with logic. You're in the
because
wrong
he
place.
has
If
no
you're
no no
looking
no
for
no.
logic, you're watching the wrong movie.
You haven't heard the best part yet. Because he has a deviated septum and can eject all the air out of his sinuses, which is so stupid because it's not just that you did this. If you did it and didn't draw attention to it, I would have been more accepting of it. But the fact that you did it and then tried to make an attempt to scientifically explain it away, like, oh, okay, like it's okay, I can do this because like if he said, oh, I can do this because I'm Aquaman, I'd be like, all right, that tracks, that's fine. Like, but
Hmm.
because you're trying to explain it away with actual science that's not real,
It's
that's where I
magic
had the problem.
science.
That's where I had the problem.
That's
um,
where you have the problem. All right.
and it's like like everything about the movie is just so dumb, and it's like I got to the end, and I think I said this last week with something else that we were talking about, where it's like if it can't be a quality issue
Hmm.
as to why Batgirl got canceled, because why the fuck did this movie come out? Um, But before we get into Star Wars, you did miss our top 10 list.
I did?
Yeah. That was the thing I texted
Oh.
you about several times, and then I said, are you going to join us? We're going to be doing it shortly. And I said, okay, I'll send you a link if you can come on. That's fine. And then we did it, and then like an hour after we finished, you texted back, I can't make it.
You want a lot from me.
And to be clear, everyone out there, we didn't even ask her to make a top 10 list. Her role was to show up and make fun of us.
I forgot about that.
Like,
Why didn't you tell me that that's what it was?
I did on the last
It wouldn't
episode of
have
this.
changed whether or not I was busy. I was busy.
Right.
Um, I'm usually pretty good about answering you if I'm not busy. What the heck? When was that? What the
Saturday.
heck did I have going on? Oh, yeah, I had like a whole bunch of appointments on Saturday.
Oh. Yeah. So, Revenge of the Sith is the movie we're talking about today. I've been looking forward to this. Because this movie is probably one of my favorite Star Wars movies, if not my favorite. It is not the best by any stretch of the imagination. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is absolutely stupid. But I still love it.
What movie are we doing?
Revenge of the Sith.
You didn't say that yet. Why
I
you
did twice.
don't? Did you
I did twice.
I didn't hear that.
That's why when you said what movie, I went like this. I was like Revenge of the Sith. Yes.
I don't
twice.
think you did it.
Because I said before we talk about Revenge of the Sith, Josie missed that, and then it was, so let's talk about Revenge of the Sith, and then I go into it, and you're like, what movie? This is like in a very early episode of 30-Minute Reviews when we were talking about Mamma Mia.
I love Mamma Mia.
Me and Peter kept talking about Pierce Brosnan, and for whatever reason you couldn't get that, and you're like, who's Pierce Bra? Like that, and you did it like 3 times. So by the third time, Peter just like, "Oh my god, are you fucking kidding?"
Oh my gosh.
But yes, Revenge of the Sith. What are your opening thoughts on Revenge of the Sith?
I like it.
Josie
sorry.
is being very descriptive today.
No, I have a lot
It's
of
good.
I have I have a lot of thoughts with a lot of depth today. We're
Depths?
definitely not depth. Like
okay.
we're definitely not stuck on the surface today. Let's see. I don't know. It's the least funny.
Oh, I disagree. I disagree.
You
I
think
think
it's
it is
funny? Okay.
unintentionally, it's the most funny. Because it's like, if you take 3 seconds to really think about anything that happens in this movie, you're like, time out. Like, the whole thing with Palpatine talking to Anakin in the speech, in the thing, it's like, Anakin hadn't, sorry, my camera keeps moving. Anakin hadn't at that point told Palpatine about the visions he's seeing about Padme. And he's just like, Palpatine's like, apropos of nothing, do you wish you could stop someone from dying? Are you thinking about someone you love dying a lot? You know, because there's a story about this guy who could stop people from dying, who was powerful enough. Like, and it's like the whole thing, and then that whole speech is like, it's less a legend the way he portrays it, and more a, you know, a confession to a murder. Because it's like, if you can't be like, this is a legend. It's like, let me tell you the legend of the guy I killed in the car accident that time. It's like, no,
What are you talking about?
because Palpatine's the one who killed Plagueis. When he tells the story, the legend of Darth Plagueis the Wise, he's confessing to a murder.
Oh. Oh yeah.
And it's like, let me tell you the legend of the guy I bludgeoned with a tire iron behind the Walmart last week. It's like, no, that's not a legend. It's a murder. You killed someone. It's like, with that context, it's kind of silly. And then, like, you know, the whole thing where it's like, okay, so we know exactly where the general is. How does he know where the general is and the Jedi don't? And then it's like, okay, well, like clearly something's up here, and no one thinks about it too hard, and is like, okay, whatever. Josie,
Hmm.
I just saw your message. Let me pause.
I'm back.
Okay, and the whole movie is just kind of ridiculous, in that regard. Like, and there is that whole slapsticky thing with R2D2 fighting the battle droids on the ship,
Hmm.
like the the whole thing where it's like, okay, so we're gonna, blow up we're gonna destroy the thing, and then Grievous is gonna escape that way, and it's like, okay, sure. And then the whole fight with Dooku is great because it's like, don't worry, we got this. And then within 3 seconds, Kenobi gets his ass kicked and is knocked out. And then immediately they capture Dooku, and it's like, all right, just kill him. And Anakin's like, what? And he says, do it. And it's like, all right, sure, why not? Like,
Just do it.
yeah, the movie is silly.
It does have one of the most iconic lines from the Star Wars movies in it.
It has a lot.
Do it.
Like, this movie
I
has a
also
lot.
named my dog after Sidious.
Cool. um,
You said I don't ever say anything about myself. I'm trying to be more open.
but yeah. What are your thoughts on the movie besides it's not the funniest?
Um, I like it. I don't know if it's my favorite. Um, I think it looks the best of the
Of the
three.
prequels? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely, and I think it's aged mostly well too.
I think it kind of has a better storyline than the other two as well.
I think the thing is, this is probably like
Like more continuity.
if someone told me that like Lucas went into the prequels with this movie mostly planned out and then made the first two leading into it, like on the fly, I'd kind of believe that because this one feels like it lands the most accurately.
Ooh, that was loud. Are you
Yeah,
getting
I
a
don't know.
storm?
No, that sounded like an engine backfiring,
Oh, it sounded like thunder to me.
or an explosion, or a gunshot.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's thunder.
that is not thunder. It is a blue ass sky out there. You see how blue it is?
Under the sea.
Yeah. No, it's nice out today. Yeah, it's an engine backfiring. It's not a.
Or it's a shooting now. That sounded like guns.
No, I think
Ooh.
I think it's too close. It's too far apart to be guns.
Are you in the danger zone?
What? Like, am I fucking flying a jet in Top Gun? Like,
No.
no.
I'm just saying that you might
Well,
be
look.
in danger.
Let's be real. It's not like Long Island is necessarily the nicest area, despite what they will make you think it is. It's like the majority of Long
What do you
Island is
mean
not the
they?
Hamptons.
Who's doing that?
People
Who
who live
thinks
here.
that? Who falls for that?
People who see. Here's the thing: no one who lives outside Long Island thinks that Long Island is nice. People
Only
who
people
live
inside.
on Long Island think people outside Long Island think Long Island is nice.
Oh.
And it's a weird
That is weird.
fellatiating,
Ew.
circle. Like, you're welcome for that mental image.
Thanks.
Like, it's weird. But either way, it's like this movie it's definitely the best of the prequels.
Yeah,
I'll say
I think
some of
so.
the visuals on Mustafar don't age particularly well.
Um,
The opening sequence though, that opening tracking shot,
it
still
has some
looks
of the
great.
best choreography though.
Oh yeah, like that and the thing is too, it's like even the prequels, well no, mostly this one. Like that Anakin and Obi-Wan are going to fight and you know how it's going to end even going into the movie the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But the two of them circling each other like fucking apex predators on that platform getting ready to fight, it's still like here we go. Here we go. Like that whole thing is just great. You can't nod again. Audio.
Yeah.
Um. Do you have other thoughts?
Um, Padme's got pretty dresses in it, so like costume's good.
See, that's the thing too.
She also has some of my favorite looks in
See,
this one.
um, I think we addressed my childhood crush to Natalie Portman in the last episode. Not going to go into that
No, we
again.
didn't.
We definitely did.
No, we didn't. I
Uh
would
huh.
remember that one.
Well, first of all, it's not the first time that we've talked about that, but 100% we did, because it is like we had to have in the last one, because that's the one where she gets the shirt ripped and she's got the bare midriff, and I was like 6 years old and I was like, this is doing something right here. Let me tell you. Like,
Oh,
we definitely
mhm.
talked about it at least once, because I think I brought it up too with the with Thor: Love and Thunder. Because I was like, good for her. She was
Mm,
my type when I was growing up. She's still my type now,
I don't
and
know,
she's getting a
maybe.
divorce, so she's out there.
I like her better buff.
Oh, like in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
All right, I can see that. Um, I like consistency in my life, and that is something that's been consistent my entire life. But anyway,
That she's buff?
no, that she's been my type.
What
Um,
is your type? And
I don't
how
know
rude.
what. Anyway, no, but she has a great line in the movie that 100% breaks the fourth wall, because it's in a one shot where she's looking directly down the barrel of the camera and goes, because it's in the scene where she's talking to Anakin in their apartment, and
Hmm.
she's looking directly at Anakin, but the camera's between Anakin and her, and she goes, because Anakin says something like, I'm only doing what's in the best interest of the Republic, and she, keep in mind this movie came out in 2006, which was in the middle of the Iraq War, and she looks right down the barrel of the camera and goes, but what if what the Republic is asking you to do is evil? Because that's the
Okay.
thing, is that this movie is very clearly, I would say it's one of the most political Star Wars movies. But because when we were kids when we watched it, you don't pick up on it at the time. Watching it now, this is a very anti-Iraq, very anti-Cheney, very anti-Bush movie.
Is it really?
100%.
I'm not one to like think about politics or anything like that, so
Because
I would have to
100%,
take
it's
your word for it.
like 100%. This is like the whole prequel trilogy is more. Well, I mean, look, the original trilogy is a Vietnam allegory.
Okay.
It's an anti-war story about Vietnam. The prequels are about the military-industrial complex, about the idea of an empire getting complacent and then falling apart as a result of that. And then it's about this, where it's like the rise of fascism in common places, and again, it's more expanded on in the show you don't like, Andor, where it's about the rise and maintenance of fascism, and then what gives rise to rebellion. What do you have to do to force people into rebellion? And it's, you have to, like, one of the things in Andor that they talk about is like, people won't rebel if their status quo is fine. People need to have their situation pushed, and things need to get worse for them to rise up. Which is why the rebellion in
Hmm.
Andor is doing so much that's going to make things worse for people, because the Empire is going to respond over the top.
Okay.
Um, and this is probably also why we have this difference in opinion on Andor, is because you don't like the political aspect of it. I love it.
Hmm.
I think too, this is very much about that, about blind patriotism, about blindly following whatever people in charge say, about blindly doing whatever, people ask. And the fact that there is a huge subset of the Star Wars fan community, and we'll get into this when we get into the sequels, who don't understand that they are explicitly the antagonists of the prequels, is part of a wider issue we have in America with people not understanding how to read media, or how to
Hmm.
view media and understand and have critical thinking toward what they're watching and reading.
Hmm.
Um, but it's also really funny, and it's got some cool effects and some cool action. I feel like I'm losing you.
Yeah. Sorry.
Um, But yeah, I do really like this movie, and it is something that, as it goes on, it somewhat gets better with age, because I think that the messaging in the movie ages well in a way that the undertones of the original trilogy are hyper specific.
Hmm.
Um, any additional thoughts? Because I feel like I've lost you a little bit.
No, I am processing everything that you've said.
Okay,
I'm thinking about it. I'm taking your thoughts into consideration.
and then you can tell me they're stupid.
No,
um,
only you say mean things to you out of my mouth. Like, I don't usually.
there's the episode title. Hang on, let me write that down before I forget. You say mean things to you out of my mouth. There we go. All right, there's this week's episode title. But yeah, I think that I definitely think this is the best of the prequels. I would say it's better than Return of the Jedi,
Okay.
because Return of the Jedi doesn't feel, even in the theatrical, doesn't feel like a concrete ending. Like, it feels like there's still more to come. You don't really
I
get
know
that.
you're really good at remembering which ones are which, but I really need to have like a picture to go with things.
Return of the Jedi is the one with the teddy
Oh,
bears.
okay. Yeah, yeah. I just have to Google it. Like, that's why I'm a little slower on it. It's because I need the visuals.
I think this is, of the three ending movies that end off the trilogies, this, Return of the Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker, this is the best end of trilogy movie.
Hmm.
Um,
I, I think so. I
the
think that's
issue is,
accurate.
this goes pretty high up on the ranking then.
I mean, it's pretty climactic.
Yes, and I think too, it's like, I remember at the time people being like, but it just ends where everyone expected to, and I remember being like in sixth grade when this movie came out and being like, yeah, it's a prequel. Like, what did you think they were gonna kill Anakin at the end? No, he's got to go on to be Vader. Like, what did you think was gonna
Hmm?
happen? My only problem with this movie is how it kind of forces the characters into where they have to be in the original trilogy. Because, like,
You think so?
I
You
do.
think that's a
Because,
force? I mean, because like that's the story from like the beginning.
well, here's the thing. There is no reason narratively given for why Yoda just gives up and leaves in his fight with the Emperor. He gets knocked off the platform, falls down, and is fine. Like, they don't show him injured. Like, it's not like he's injured and has to abandon the fight. He just kind of is like, well, done all I can do. See ya. Like, he doesn't really do anything. Like, and the same thing goes for, like the way they wrap up the fight with Obi-Wan and Anakin. It
Hmm.
feels like Obi-Wan leaves him for dead, which just feels stupid.
Okay.
Like, the thing is, it's like, yeah, he's still, like, he leaves, he's still alive. I get that they're on this planet where, but the thing is, there are people mining around them, and there are droids mining around them. Like, why
Hmm.
would you take the chance and leave him still alive? It's not like you don't have a
Hmm.
weapon. Why wouldn't you just, like, fucking kick his ass into the lava? Like, or just cut his head off and be done with it. Like, why not? Like, the movie doesn't give a reason why he's like, I'm gonna, like, let you live. Like, and the thing is, too, it's like, even if you want to say, like, oh, he didn't want to kill him, it's like, yeah, leaving him there to slowly die is so much worse than just putting him out of his misery. Like,
Well, he
it's,
can't kill him. He's his brother.
yeah, but the thing is, it's like, if it were up to me, it's like, if it was me and my brother, it's like, I feel like it's worse to leave him for dead and slowly dying, because it's like, either way, the end result that Obi-Wan is leaving him with is he's gonna die. It's just, the difference is he's gonna cut his head off and be done with it and it's
Mm.
just over,
You let him suffer.
or
Yeah.
leave him there to suffer, because it's like, at the end of the day, that's the goal, is for him to die. It's not like he's leaving him
Hmm.
there and he's like, and then someone will come and save you, and it'll be a good person, and they will fix your heart. But if that was the case, he would just take him with him.
All
Like
right, all right.
if the goal was subdue Anakin and then like let's try to deprogram him from his QAnon nonsense that he's deep down the rabbit hole on. Like
Mm-hmm.
if that's the case, take him and bring him with you. Like don't just leave him there, which would be a great what if too.
Mm-hmm.
Like what if Anakin was either killed by Obi-Wan on Mustafar or Anakin was
But he has to be
saved.
left alive.
Right.
So the only explanation is that he doesn't think that he's leaving him for dead, but he has to go try to save Padme and the babies.
Right, but still there's
So
still
like
enough
he
time
so that way
there.
he could, because doesn't he also like call for help? Maybe?
No, he doesn't, because the one who shows up is it's Palpatine. Palpatine's the one who inevitably shows up, and Palpatine only shows up because after the fight with Yoda, he's like, "Oh shit's going down with Anakin. Let me get over to Mustafar and see what that is." Like he senses it in the Force. If not for that, like
Maybe there's no time.
right, but there's
Maybe there's
no
no time. Like maybe the Force tells him there's no time. You have to go save Padme.
right, but articulated in the movie then.
How?
Like you just have him do that and then sense Padme dying.
Doesn't he?
No,
Isn't there like a cutaway?
no.
Hmm. Well, he's got to stay alive.
See, that's the thing, but there are ways to do that where it's like, okay, the way it's framed here is designed for emotional impact, but logically it doesn't make sense. Because it's like you could do it where it's like he is, you know, and the same thing even goes for when they do it in Kenobi again, where it's like Kenobi I would say is more egregious because at this point you can make the case that Obi-Wan senses that the good is still in Anakin
Mm-hmm.
on Mustafar. But when he's in that rock thing where they had the final fight in Avatar: The Last Airbender in Kenobi, it's like, really though, why don't you kill him here instead of leaving him for dead? Besides the fact that he's gotta be in the original trilogy.
Hmm.
Why not just put a lightsaber through his head and be done with it?
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why. And it's not like there's a knowledge that there's another person who's gonna rise up and rival Anakin. Like, what, he thinks Reva's gonna do it? Like, it makes even less sense there. But here, you could do it where it's like, if you have it where he slices Anakin, Anakin falls, he rolls down to the lava river, catches on fire, Obi-Wan sees a vision of Padme, Padme dying or like flatlining, and he's like, "Oh
Mm-hmm.
shit, I have to go." Like that would alleviate a lot of this. But just having him there and then having him sit there and talk to Anakin and have a conversation with Anakin who is writhing in pain, then on fire, and then him being like, you know what? He's probably dead anyway. Let me. And he doesn't move with any urgency after that. He just kind of like strolls away, like, well, my job here is done. But either way, it doesn't alleviate the fact that there's no reason why Yoda just leaves.
Yeah, that's true.
Yoda leaving is the most egregious because it's like there's no like okay, he doesn't have his lightsaber, but what? Like Yoda couldn't fuck up the Emperor without his lightsaber? Like
Hmm.
that said, I'm gonna put this at number 3. I think it's better
Okay.
better than Return of the Jedi.
I can get behind that.
But yeah, we will wrap up there for today only because Zoom is giving me this thing where we got 5 minutes left. Because I
Oh
did
yeah,
not
look at
upgrade.
that.
Yeah, I did not upgrade to Pro. So, do you have a question you want to wrap up in the last 5 minutes on?
Mm, shoot, I can't remember what my question was last week.
You should have written it down.
I should have. Gosh.
I can't wait till summer's over. I'm just fucking.
What?
It is so hot.
It's hot, kind of.
Yeah, but you
I'm
also
I'm pretty
live in like
happy.
Siberia.
Um,
No, but
we
okay.
we have barely had any freaking sunshine.
It has been nearly 100 degrees almost every day for the
No,
last
here
month.
it has been nothing for the last 2 to 3 months but freaking rain. We had 2 nice
Oh, that
weeks,
sounds
and that's it.
fantastic. Oh my god, you know how productive I'd be if it was nothing but rain?
Oh my God, my house is like smelly from moldy. Like it's not drying out and like yuck.
Like, I
Yuck.
don't know if it's just me, but I get more writing done when it's raining.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, it doesn't apply to you. You don't write, but
I don't
um,
write.
like I get more writing done when it's raining than
Hmm,
when it's sunny out. I don't know why.
that is weird.
Yeah, but
I
yeah.
got
So
nothing.
our next episode will be after Revenge of the Sith. It is. Hang on. Where the fuck are we? Revenge of the Sith. Mandalorian season 3 next week. The week after, Heir to the Empire. The week after that, Star Wars Squadrons. And the week after that, the Clone Wars movie, because that was the movie that came out between the prequels and the sequels.
Sweet.
And we may have a new contender for the
So
worst
that's
movie.
next week is
No, next
Clone
week
Wars?
is Mandalorian season 3, the most recent season of The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
So we'll talk about that next week. I do have thoughts on that as well.
Okay.
Um, if you want to hear me and Peter talk about our top 10 list, you can hop on over to 30-Minute Reviews. I fixed the 30-Minute Reviews website where it'll redirect to the podcast page on Spotify, not the Spotify landing page.
I'd imagine there's a small portion where they talk shit about how I didn't show up.
Yes.
So that might
Yes,
be
that does happen.
interesting.
Yes, that does happen. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
just
fixed.
assume you're always talking shit about me.
No, we don't. We don't. If you're not that, like, if when we do the Dune episode, it's not like we be like fucking Josie, she couldn't show up, like, because we know you're not gonna show up to do Dune Part 2. Like, when we may do something where it's like you have shitty taste. Which, by the way, we do eventually talk about Dune on Star Wars because you can't not, because
Yeah.
Dune is so heavily entwined in the DNA of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because like that's what Tatooine is Arrakis. Like the Krayt dragon skeleton that we see in Episode 4 is meant to be a sandworm.
Mm.
Like that's what like it is like say what you will about George Lucas, he's very good about pulling from shit he likes.
Yeah.
And Dune is one of those things. And you
I
should
like
read
Dune.
Dune. Oh, you liked it?
Yeah, I've never read it. I watched the movie. And I have considered reading it. I just
You should read it. It's very like the books go in some fantastic places. And I really
Mhm.
hope we get to the uncircumcised dick that is God Emperor of Dune. Um, I'll send you the
What?
cover art that I'm talking about. The cover art for one of the variant covers of God Emperor of Dune makes the main character look like a giant uncircumcised cock.
Why?
Because he becomes a sand. It's a very long story, and I very highly recommend you read it because it makes sense in context, but out of context, it's like Paul's son becomes the emperor and also becomes immortal and a sandworm. So he's half
Oh,
human, half sandworm. So it's a sandworm with a human head here, but it looks like it's a foreskin going like this over his head. It's very funny.
that's really gross. Was it purposeful?
I mean, look, no one accidentally draws a cock.
I mean,
You're an
that's not
artist.
accurate.
Do you accidentally draw dicks a lot?
Sometimes, not a lot.
And we'll wrap up there for today. So until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.
Bye.
And we're